this video, we'll be installing the gas block system onto our AR15 upper receiver. Please make sure your gun's unloaded and in a safe working condition. Please follow all safety protocols when working on your firearm. To install the gas block system onto our AR15 upper receiver, we'll need our gas block, gas tube, a 5/64 by 5/16 inch roll pin. Tools we'll need are a torque wrench, a number 2 or 5/64 inch roll pin punch, an Allen wrench, and some thread sealant. This is a high temperature sealant. Basically it's a red Loctite, that's what it is. When installing our gas block system, one barrel feature we need to take into consideration that will make the job harder or easier is whether the barrel is dimpled or not. So my barrel is dimpled. Basically there's maybe a 1/16 inch spot drilled out here in the barrel, and that's used as a guide for our set screw to make sure that the gas block is lined up properly on the barrel. So if you have a dimple, your job's much easier on how to line up your gas block. If you don't have a dimple, then you've got to do a little work to make sure that the gas block's lined up properly. And what we'll do on this barrel is I can go ahead and verify that this dimple is in the correct location, and it would also show you how to do it yourself if you don't have a dimple. So here's the gas port on our barrel. That's where the gas tube, this hole in the gas tube will sit over top of that hole, and that's how the gas exits the barrel and returns back to your bulk carrier. This would be the actual proper orientation of the gas tube itself when it's installed. As you can see, the hole in the gas tube is bigger than the hole in the barrel, and this gives us a little leeway just in case we're not exact with our placement of our gas tube system. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to draw a line bisecting our gas port. Like that. So I'm having to eyeball this. It's not exact, but it's going to be pretty close. The next thing I would do, this is an older gas tube, gas block that I'm not installing on this rifle, but using it for demonstration, is I drew a line bisecting the middle of the gas block itself. So these two lines should meet up correctly if we do our measurements accurately. So the first measurement I'm going to take is from this edge here. Do this in inches, not centimeters. Is where is the center of my gas port hole? So it looks like 7/16. Okay, I want to remember that. The next thing I want to do, and I can use a piece of tape to do this, is I want to know the circumference of the outside dimensions of my barrel. Alright, so right here. You can measure that. Get it where you can see it. If I measure that, Have it upside down. If I measure that, I am 2 3/8. So 2 3/8, half of that would be 1 and would that be 4/16, I think? Correction, that's going to be 1 3/16. 1 3/16. All right. So let's take our tape again. Measure 1 3/16 on that. Should put it right here. Put my tape on this bisecting line. Let me flip my barrel over. Alright, here's our 1 3/16. Which I don't know, you can't see my mark I just made, but so that puts us right where my dimple is. So the other measurement we'll take, so when we measured our gas port from this edge to the middle of the gas port, we're going to do the same thing for the dimple here. And as you can see, the middle is 7/16. So we bisected the circumference of our barrel and we measured from this elbow end 7/16. And that verifies my dimple is in the correct location. So if you didn't have a dimple, you would put a mark right here. So to verify my dimple location, or location if I did not have a dimple, slide the gas tube on. Okay, I've got it lined up. The hole of my gas tube is lined up directly over the dimple or the dot I had made if I were going to make a dimple. If I flip things over, flip the barrel over, as you can see, well, you can't see, so the bisecting line I made on the gas block intersects with the line I made on the barrel. And I'll see if I can change angles so you can see that. Now it's time to begin the installation of the gas block system itself. So I'm going to be installing a superlative arms adjustable gas block system. Here's the actual gas block. Here's the adjustment screw right here. So when you're out in the field shooting, if you need to make changes to your gas block, you can reach from the front through the rail and make quick adjustments with this Allen wrench. So most ARs that I have seen come from the factory or with a standard gas block or overgassed systems. Well, what does overgassed mean? Overgassed means that you have more gas coming back to the bulk carrier group than is actually necessary to operate the gun. So why would manufacturers do that? The best explanation I've heard is that guns are overgassed so that they run when they're not well maintained or they're extremely dirty and gritty. So soldiers in the field, if there's mud and gunk in the gun, the idea is if you're overgassed, you can keep grinding through round after round with an overgas system. Or if it's not oiled well or whatever, overgassing is a way to keep the system running. So obviously it's not optimal. As you can see here in the diagram that Superlative Arms provided. So if you watch the pattern of your brass that's ejecting as you shoot, if you see this 1 to 2 o'clock pattern of your brass being ejected, that means you're overgassed. What we want is between this 3 and 4 o'clock position. That's where, if we see our brass ejecting in that range, that's optimal. And if it's past 4 o'clock, then it's undergassed. Undergassed means that you're not getting enough gas back to cycle the gun properly, and so you want more gas to go through. So with an adjustable gas system, we can tune our gun to fire between this 3 and 4 o'clock range. And if we're spending a day out at the range and we're running it hard, we can make these adjustments as the day goes on or as the need arises to keep our gun running the way we want to. So what are the benefits of having it run between this 3 and 4 o'clock position? Well, according to Superlative, proper gun cycling of the BCG, less recoil, allowing faster follow-up shots, less heat and carbon fouling on your system, minimize wear on your internal components. So those are all good reasons to put an adjustable gas block system on. So all of my guns, except the one I'm getting ready to do, have these adjustable gas blocks on them. I like them. They've run well for me. And this is the last AR I have to make that change. So the first thing we need to do is we need to install our gas tube into our gas block. So if you look inside the gas block, you've got a hole right here. So this hole is what sits over top of the barrel itself. So the gas port from the barrel is going to push gas up into this hole. Our gas tube needs, this hole on our gas tube needs to line up with the hole in the gas block. So we'll insert the tube like that, and then we're going to pin it through this hole here. So as gas exits the barrel, it's going to come into this hole, up, and then back down the gas tube, down to the bulk carrier group, which will then cycle the gun. Alright, so I've got this lined up pretty good already. So as you can see, there we go. As you can see, my gas tube is pushed all the way back, and it's lined up with that hole where we will drive our roll pin into. So that's a 5/64 by 5/16 inch roll pin, I believe, is what we said earlier. So I'm going to put a little dab of oil on that to help it go through. Going to use a starter roll pin punch. So this is sitting at a weird angle for hammering. Slide everything over a little bit. Alright, so my starter roll pin punch is bottomed out. We're looking good from that side. So I'm going to take a number 2 or a 5/64 inch roll pin punch and let's finish the job here. One more tap and I think we'll be done here. Alright, that looks pretty good. So that's all it takes to assemble. Using my shirt to clean this off. That's all it takes to assemble the gas block itself. So before installing the gas block onto the barrel, I want to remove the set screw closest to the upper receiver. This is the set screw. If you have a dimple in your barrel, this would be the set screw that would go into the dimple. And the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little oil inside the gas block just so it doesn't mar up the finish of the rifle as we're sliding it on. Alright. Sliding gas tube on. We want to make sure that we're lined up exactly over that dimple, which we are. So I'm going to put this set screw back in without the red Loctite. This is going to seat down into that dimple. And I'm going to remove this set screw. And I'm going to apply the red Loctite to this one. Which red Loctite? That brand is actually Permatex. It's actually white in color when it comes out, but it is a high temperature thread sealant. I'm getting to come out. Just a dab. So red Loctite is much harder to get off. You need heat. So if you take these off in the future, you'll want to take a heat gun, blow some heat on it, and then they'll loosen right up so you can remove them. Alright, so I'm going to hand tighten this. Now I'm going to remove the set screw that's in the dimple. And we'll apply our Loctite to that. Now we can take our torque wrench. So the specs are 25 pounds for these set screws. Sorry, not 25 foot-pounds, 25 inch-pounds. All right, there we go. Zoom out a little bit. All right, so let's clean up some of that Loctite. All right, so our gas system is now installed. That looks pretty good. And that's all it takes to install a gas system on an AR15 upper receiver. If you found this video useful, please leave your comments below and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it and thank you.